many of you have read the life story about Steve Jobs? Now, last time I quoted Steve Jobs saying, he's correct. I said, you only have one life to live. Your life is gone soon. You better do what you're passionate about. Don't waste your life. Don't waste your time doing the things that you hate. So one guy said, but he's not a good human being. I agree. I read his autobiography. He's a #1 jerk. You would not like to work for a guy like this. He insults you. He's so callous and insensitive and egomaniac. I mean, he is mean to people. Anything you do for him is HIT. Or, okay. But it's difficult to please him, very, very difficult to please him. So he's a genius, but a bad human being. He's miserable. He's a miserable human being. So I'm saying that you have a duty to be the best human being you can be. Okay? And then you can be the best engineer, best computer science person, best artist. So I'm making an additional requirement that if you cannot bring out the best quality in you, just bring out your talents, you are still limited in many ways. This is my view. Okay. So I say, believe in yourself, and in all that you are, I always believe that something inside you is greater than the world. So your belief is the antidote to doubt. It's logical, right? Belief is the antidote to doubt. Whenever you have doubt yourself, so I hope I have dismissed the first lie that I can't do anything. I'm saying that you can. You can be a human potential. You can because God can help you. You can, okay? The second lie I want to dismiss is even more difficult. Most parents say, I want my children to be happy. Most parents want their children to be happy. And most people, you ask them, what do you want in life? I want happiness. Everybody wants happiness. I want happiness. I live in a nice house. I eat good food. But happiness cannot be the primary goal in my life. There's a difference, right? We all want happiness. But if you make happiness your primary goal, you say, the most important thing in life is happiness, and then you will fall in a trap, okay? Now this rat, years ago, Huang was still a graduate student. The rat, his brain, the pleasure center is stimulated to an electro machine. Every time he presses the lever, the electric stimulation stimulates the pleasure center. So this rat will without eat, without drink, without sleep, he press the lever for pleasure seeking, and die from pleasure seeking. Well, many people do the same thing. Do you think no reasonable person will believe that you can live a worthy life? Being hooked up to a machine, pleasure machine that deliver pleasure sensation all day, all night. It's a wasted life. It's a total wasted life. Nobody will agree with that. This is exactly what people are doing. Now, next slide, even more scary. This little stupid mouse fly herself into the fire. Happiness is a very dangerous temptress. It's a very dangerous temptress. He said, oh, come here and try this drug. It will make you happy. Come, have an affair. It will make you happy. All these things are pleasurable. Invariably, they're dangerous to your health, dangerous to your life. You talk to any recovering addict, they realize this illusion that being high on drugs, on alcohol, can bring happiness, bring destruction. So every time you hear a word, say, you've been tempted. Temptation means what? Temptation means that you want happiness, right? Nobody tempts you to do something hard or difficult. The devil tempts you to do something that gives you pleasure, right? That's what temptation is. Whenever you're tempted, think about this little mouse. He flies to his own destruction. That's why I say, the certain happiness is good, but both happiness are bad. There comes happiness that comes from doing good, called eudaimonia. Oh, that's fine. Okay? Authentic happiness is good. Authentic happiness comes from you being an authentic person. But just seeking pleasure, hedonic happiness, means pleasant sensation, pleasure, kind of pleasure. Now the pursuit of hedonism is self-destructive. Now the pursuit of happiness also has to do with civilization. Do you know why? Do you know why Greek civilization disappeared? Why Roman Empire collapsed? It is not because enemies outside are stronger, but because of indulging in pleasure. Yeah. Because decadence. Now decadence usually associated with a free society. Okay? Now many countries want to catch up with America. But they also have American problem of drug, sex, and what else. And all the things, all the evil that destroy society and family. So decadence is from the pursuit of happiness. There are larger implications. Our Western civilization, America, Canada, Western Europe, our Western civilization, if they continue the path of decadence, it will self-destruct. It cannot compete with the Chinese culture. It cannot compete with Islamic culture. It will self-destruct. So the pursuit of happiness poses a threat not only to personal life, personal health, but poses a threat to our civilization. So at the most, if you live a life of pleasure, you live a shallow life. But there's no substance in your heart, your mind, there's no content in your mind. All you have is the experience of pleasure. So at the best, if nothing bad happens to you, you still only live a shallow life. The third lie is what? Money can buy everything. Now how many people really believe that money can buy everything? Oh, nobody, eh? So you're smart people, eh? Well, you go to China.
You can buy everything cheap.
Huh? You go to China, yeah, you agree with you, money cannot buy relationship. You go to China, the only thing they worship is money. It's not communism or any ism or any ideology, it's money. The money can make the devil work for you. Money can buy power, money can buy prestige, but money cannot buy love, money cannot buy relationship, money cannot buy life. Everything that counts in life, anything that's worthwhile in life, can be purchased by money. So I mean, if you're doing research, no, I'm not, because I'm not a sociologist. You do research, you know, see, there's so many crimes, white-collar crimes, and drug-related crimes. They're all motivated by money. And last night I watched a Chinese movie in Hong Kong. He and brother even to die from robbing a bank. Okay, he said, if there's no money, life not worth living. What's the point of living without money? So they risk their lives to get illegal money, and both die. Both die. And it is very, very destructive when you just make money your primary purpose in life. Greed is, you know, some people misquote the Bible. The Bible never says money is the root of evil. What the Bible says?
The love of money.
Yes, Matthew. The love of money, which means greed, right? The love and the greed. In Wall Street, say greed is good. In Bay Street, greed is good. In China, they say greed is good.
Yes.
But it's greed that kills people. Right?
It should read, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil.
All evil. I know it's a shit of translation, I don't know. I don't know the actual translation, okay? All kind of evil to me is same as all evil. Okay? This is just my summary. Okay? Remember him? He is, a few years ago, WorldCom is a big corporation. He brought the whole company down. He defaulted a few $1 billion from the company. Remember this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what is this scheme? This
Ponzi.
Ponzi. Do you know Ponzi scheme? The Ponzi scheme is that you promise people high return, a 20% return. So you use a new investor to pay off the old investor. He actually never invest in anything. This continue eventually collapse, right? Eventually you can't find enough new investors to support the old investor. Eventually collapse. But in the process, he destroyed thousands of lives.
Yes.
People lost their savings. People promise them, people greedy. You're greedy, you won't get, if you're vulnerable to all the scams, right? If you're not greedy, you won't fall the scams, right? But greedy, you fall to a scam, he destroyed so many families, and his son committed suicide, he ended up in jail. And the Chinese guy, our neighbor, he was charged, he's a Chinese Madoff. Chinese Madoff, he called himself Buffett. He called himself Warren Buffett, Chinese Warren Buffett, and he ran for mayor. I forgot his name, just our neighbor. He came to see me, asked me to help him with his legal fight. But he was charged for doing exactly the same thing, the Ponzi scheme. Many Chinese people, greedy for more high return, fall into this scheme. So greed, you don't have to wait until you got deadly disease or get old to be wise. I'm saying that the minimum life was living, and so I say live with a high purpose is the way. Now I don't have time to tell you the detail, but right now the foundation. I say the meaning is a pathway. There are two characteristics of meaning in life. One is self-transcendence. Live a life that transcends self-interest. Start thinking about we rather than me. Start thinking about humanity, think about society, think about God rather than your own self-interest. The requirement of self-transcendence is one of the keys to a happy life. Now you might not understand, but we are wired in such a way that we cannot be really happy, really, if we just live for ourselves. You are bigger than yourself. You're bigger than, your life, your vision should be bigger than your self-interest.
Amen.
Those who only live for themselves are the most miserable bunch. Those who are not willing to help anybody, only think about themselves, are the most selfish people are the most miserable people. Those who give away things, who share with other people, may look foolish, but they know the wisdom of self-transcendence. The other part is authenticity. Everybody has calling. Everybody has unique calling. Even autistic child has calling. The one autistic person, she can do anything, but she can understand how the horses talk, horse whisper, or cow whisper. He knows how to communicate with animal. So people discover a talent, eventually they can get a job with the government to talk to animals. to talk to animals, so he gets a job. And some autistic child can be very good in piano playing. So everybody has calling. Don't tell me you can't do anything. You have to discover your calling. So Be yourself, you're unique, and focus on what really matters. Life's much brighter when you really focus on what really matters. If you have decided what really matters, focus on that, rather than focus on your problem. Shift your focus from your problem to your potentiality. Shift your focus from self to others. From yourself to God, to a country, to society and family, to other people. Take your eyes off yourself, can you? You know? Your eyes are built to look at other people, not to look at yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Don't look at the mirror all the time, okay? My hair is in a mess, I never look in the mirror, right?
It actually looks good today.
I hate my own look. I don't look at myself, right? So I hate my own voice, but you know, they'll take me, I have no choice, right? So, but you know, focus on what really matters, and don't fight over small things, trivial things. Who's right, who's wrong, or who said what, who did what. They're all trivial things, and don't fight over trivial things. Time too short, life too short. Life too short to be wasted on arguing over trivial things. You focus on what really matters, then you have no time, no energy to fight over small things, right? You do something. I have big plans for this group, but I'm old. I can't do. But with your help, we can do a lot more. So I want your help to join me in the meaning movement to help other people to live a more meaningful life. Being a Christian doesn't mean you live a meaningful life. Being a Buddha doesn't mean you live a meaningful life. And many religious people live self-centered life. They want to judge people.
Yes.
True.
They don't judge people, okay, condemn people. But they know how to lift other people up. Okay? And this is what you can do, okay? Be a hand that reaches out. Be a smile for those people who have no reason to smile. Be a light for those who live in darkness. Show them what it means to love. Anybody can do that, right? There's self-transcendence. But you do it with your talent, special calling. Okay? So that's the end of my lecture. Thank you for your attention. My knee.
I noticed some of you were writing, desperately.